Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. And also, I want to say happy Women's History Month. Um, and today we're going to be talking about women avoiding toxic men because again, you know, there are toxic men out here, who wants to how do we say who wants to destroy the minds of young women and everything. Love DJ music. I DJ. I mean, Mr. DJ Music. Yeah, I got but yeah, I got work on the I got work on that. But yeah, I want to go ahead and say this. The toxic men who apparently want, the younger women to sort of toy with their minds and get them to bend to their will. Like I'm seeing videos of women coming out warning younger women, and the thing of it is, with this red pill content that's going on out here, it would be easy for an impressionable young woman uh, to look at that and say, uh, oh, maybe I should listen to them. But then here's when the consequences of listening to them start. Here's where when it starts. Because I don't know if because um on Friday, the live stream that that I did on Friday, um, there was a man named Mr. DJ Music, and he also says that young girls go missing and everything else. And here and here's the thing. Mr. DJ Music is exactly right, because there are young women who were in their 20s who disappeared. Now you got women who were 25, 30, 40, all the way up to 50 or 60 years old who disappeared and was never seen again. Mm. And, but yeah, they were never seen again. And the thing of it is, it all points back to that toxic man, to the toxic man that they were with. And you've seen women being unalive. That goes back to the toxic men that they were with. And here's the thing, the toxic men will disguise themselves as good men. They will literally do that. And then when they got you nice and comfortable and all that, that's when they take the mask off. That's when it happens. The moment they take that mask off, then that's when they'll be able to abuse you, do everything they want to you, because they separated you from your family. They separated you from your friends. And even your friends and family warned you about the toxic man that you were with. But then because he been nice to you and all that stuff, and then you'll be like, oh, but he loves me and everything. Next thing you know, he switches up on. He will criticize you or how your body is. He will criticize, you know, well, he will criticize just about everything about you. And then, you know, if you ever say anything towards him, or if you don't agree with him, that's when the physical abuse comes in. Think about the stories on the stories on Fatal Attraction, the stories of when they talk about the cases of black women who had their lives taken by a significant other who was toxic. Some of those stories don't even get solved until maybe 5 years, 10 years, or in some cases, 13 to 30 years later. That is, and if you ask me, that's the scary part about it. And I'm, and I'm gonna, and not only that, but you have women who are pick me's, who have daughters, and they decide to go ahead and spread that pick meism to their daughters. And then the daughter goes missing because of that toxic man. And I would blame the mama who is a pick me too, because again, because again, um, like at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, how do I put this? There are women of all races who disappear from out the blue, and for what I've seen, most of those cases, especially the missing black women's cases, are not even solved. You have those that are solved, which have a happy ending, but then there are those that do not have a happy ending. And then there are cases where today there are still young black girls who are missing and haven't been found till this day. I do believe they're being sex trafficked or human trafficked. I still believe that. And I was looking up a case that happened on Valentine's Day in in February of 2000. They have now they've now found a link into the case, and it turns out that the little black girl that was missing in North Carolina, her name was Asia Degree. It turns out that there that because I was hoping that she was still alive, but after the things I saw, and especially matter of fact, I want to shout out to all the um crime stories channels. One of them did a story about Asia Degree, and for the since 2000, since that day, they found information on there, and it looks like Asia Degree's case, it may be solved. It may get solved. It may not be this year, and it might be next year. I'm I'm hoping that here's the thing. I'm hoping it gets solved. I really do, because her life should never have been taken in the first place. But again, and I apologize if I, bring up stories like that, but it, those stories also ties into what I'm saying to like the topic at hand. Now, Asia Degree, you know, she wasn't, you know, with an older man per se. She was kidnapped when, and I understand, there are black children when things are going on, they want to walk outside and, get away from it all. I understand that. I understand that. But in Asia Degree's case, she was kidnapped. Because you can't tell me there are not people, that just go ahead and just, it, what I'm trying to say is when it comes to the case of Asia Degree, they have spent years trying to find her. And then, when they got no leads, they decided to close the case. Now, last year, they opened up a case because they found a clue, and it was a car. I forgot what it was, but yeah, it was a car that they found. And not only that, but they actually, because of the DNA thing that they have today, they, and this is what I've heard, they say that Asia Degree had her life taken. And the suspects are one man, one older man, and I think two women. And dealing with a toxic man, and talking to the older women, the women who will be in their 20s, dealing with a toxic man who wants you to cover for him whenever he does a crime. Guess who's going to get more time than the toxic man who decided to go ahead and manipulate you? You are. Not him. He probably going to get like, I don't know, 15 years, and then probably going to be let out of prison. But you have taken the fall, which means you going to be in there longer than he is, which means you're not going to be coming out of jail until, or if they find out that you didn't do it, he actually did. That's called tampering with evidence as well. So yeah, he's going he's going to get life in prison. But you, however, your life will be ruined because you decided to listen to the manosphere and the red pill, and you wind up with a toxic dude that ruined your life. And you won't even know it until it's too late. You won't even know until it's too late. And not only that, the toxic men will berate you. They will put down your every accomplishment, and then they will up and leave you. They will. They will. And if you try to leave a toxic relationship, there is, I would say, there is, dang, what I'm saying is there is a chance that he will likely unalive you. Yeah, and this is why I say to all races of women, beware of the toxic men out here. Beware of these guys, because these guys do not have your best interest at heart. They really don't. We can see it in the black femicide cases. We shoot. I'm even see it when a white woman's life is taken by her significant other too, or a family member, or she winds up disappearing and never is seen again. Same thing with Hispanics, Indian. Same thing with the Hispanic woman, the Indian women, the Asian women. I don't know if it happens to Polynesian women, but yeah, they do face toxic men in their communities as well. But the thing of it is, it's time to ignore the toxic men, which means, look, the red pill will have you thinking that they're men of good character, but they're not. They based everything on looks, and when something happens to them, they wind up going back to the manosphere because their wife left them and everything else. Could be that the man that she was with was toxic. That's the thing the red pill doesn't want to talk about. And it's sad. And it's sad. And here's the thing. To all races of women, the man's character has to come first. Because Y'all get, look, y'all are getting okie donked by these toxic men. Y'all just don't know it. Y'all get okie donked by them every single time. I see a white girl and she is a single mother. I've seen white women being single mothers to to black men's children, and their biracial children are speaking out as they should. As they should. Shout out to the angry biracial because he's a biracial that was created by a toxic BLK man who went on ahead and raped his Arab mother. And again, black men wonder why we still have that stigma of being rapists. Just because it's not all of us doing it, it only takes a few to have that stereotype be used against us. It only takes a few. Or it only takes a certain group of black men to do that. And again, that goes into the toxic men category as well. Because when you think about it, the men who think that they are owed women because they're men and everything. Hang on. But yeah, when it comes to the toxic men who think they're owed access to women, they will berate you. They will do everything that it takes to isolate you from your family. That means if that happens again, you won't be able to talk to your mother. You won't be able to talk to your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your friends. You won't be able to talk to any of them. Why? Because that toxic man has you in his clutches and he does not want to let go. And if the family finds out that he's abusing you, then all of a sudden he loses control. I want the women to think about this. I'm just going to be out there spreading truth. And here's the thing. There are missing black women. Those that were still in high school, those who were in middle school and elementary, and those who were in college who had a job, they're still missing. And it points to one thing: toxic men. Because a man of character wouldn't you know do these things. And I get, you want I get there's women out there who want men with money, and then there are those who just want a man of character. I get it. And here's the thing. You will have toxic men in the manosphere thinking that thinking that oh, I'm a nice guy and everything, and oh, this and that and the third. But it's when they turn it's when they turn into the toxic man that they have been hiding inside them for so long. That is when your life will be in danger. And if you don't believe me, look at some of the crime stories and tell me if I'm lying. Look at the faces of the look at the faces of the mothers and fathers and the friends of the women who had their lives taken by the toxic men. Look at the women who have been ruined by the toxic men. And it all comes down to women listening to toxic men. That means listening to the red pill, listening to the manosphere. That is where it starts. Because a man of character will love a woman. And it doesn't matter her imperfections or anything else. But no, the toxic man is worrying about getting women under his control, while the man of character just only cares about if she is a good person. What the ladies of all races has seen, I'm going to say this because, again, and I know what people are going to say, Alexander, how do I know this? Because one of my sisters was with two toxic men, and they both treated her bad. To be honest, I I felt like going and I felt like going and just bona fide whooping the men who did my sister's wrong, who did my sister wrong. I feel like just just going out there and just finding the men who did and and just beat them up. But I realized that I will and and here's the thing, because I didn't care if I lose my freedom. I will never have my sisters be treated wrong. And I know what the toxic men of all the races are going to say. Oh, you're a simp, you're this, you're that. Guess what? The same thing what happened if the dad finds out about women. That's why the toxic man wants you separated from your family. Because if they hear about, then your father, your brothers, your uncles, and possibly your granddad is probably going to whip that man's, excuse my language, ass. It's probably going to happen. And that toxic man knows this. He knows it. That's why. That's why they do not want your family involved in your life once you know you get married to that toxic person. And let's face it, it's the truth. It's legitimately the truth. And the main thing is they feel like they have control over you, and they do not want to let go. Think about and I know what the black women are going to say. Oh, but other races do it too. Look, we already know they do it. All right, but we're not talking about. All right, that's the thing, and that is another thing. The other races do it too. But within the black community, within the BLK community, BLK women lose their lives to black men. And now you have toxic black men, or as I call it, the narcissistic black man, going ahead and having baby mamas everywhere, making the ones who don't have that look bad. Well, oh, you're talking down on the BLK man. You're doing this, you're doing that, and the third. Maybe y'all don't like the truth coming out. That's why y'all want to silence black women, because the truth is coming out. And not only that, now I'm seeing white women doing the same thing, talking about how a black man left her as a single mother, or how on and you already have, again, you have the biracials saying the same thing, saying that because she never knew, they never knew their black side. you know and that's the thing too. You have black men who are toxic and wants to marry and date other races of women, all because of the hatred for black women, and they share that same hatred. Now you have those who don't have that same hatred, who don't hate black women, but after I seen the Toby album selling, and and that other dude who died at the hands of one of their preferences, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't march for a man who wanna diss his own woman and pop up someone else. I can't do it. Not only that, but there were black women and black men of character who said the same thing. And I said this a whole lot too. Yeah, you gotta have women who are, you know, in my opinion, who would teach their daughters how to be pick me's and everything. But all of a sudden it's like they do not care about their daughters if they are legitimately if they're legitimately you know, saying, oh, you know, you need to find a man, this and that and the third. And here's the thing that gets me the most. Have y'all noticed it always be the old men who come after younger women? Have y'all realized that? But all of a sudden the younger women wind up disappearing. Have y'all realized that? Because I have. And like I said, I'm hoping that Asia Degree gets justice. And sorry, I do believe that the man who had his part in doing whatever happened to her, you know, I know he's probably, already dead or gone, but the women who helped him do what they did um, to Asia Degree, I hope they get life in prison. I really hope they get life in prison. And then a story of a 39-year-old woman, Alicia Watts, who went missing last year. Well, not last year. She went missing in July of 2023. In August of that year, that's when they found where she was. She was buried in a shallow grave. Now, here's the thing. You have one corn um you have one of the coroners who said that, or you have somebody that said that when she was found, the person said that her head was bashed in. And then he said her hands. Well, pretty much, he said that she was tortured. She had been tortured, and they found strangle marks on her neck. And then you have the coroner who says that when they found her, her body was already decaying. And that she was missing, well, pretty much, she was unrecognizable until they did a DNA test to see if it was her, and it turns out it was a 50-something-year-old man by the name of James Dunmore. Took her life. and he had someone help. And then not only that, but the sister giving giving the police his his clothes, which the pants were covered in pine. And then pretty much it was covered in mud. And then she turned in the mail from Alicia's house. She turned in everything. Which brings me to the question that brought stock market Steve to the same question. What was James Dunmore's sister doing in that house, in Alicia Watts' house? Oh, and she even turned in Alicia Watts' pocketbook, meaning she turned in her purse. And I'm telling y'all, if James Dunham, in the near future, if James Dunmore goes down, something tells me he's gonna take his sister right along with him. And that, ladies, is one of the consequences that will happen to you when you're dealing with a toxic man, whether it's the man you're dating, whether it's your brother, your uncles, and or anyone in your family. Because trust me, when he does something wrong, you're going to go down with him. Or when you're trying to escape that toxic stuff, you're going to go down with him. And that right there is one of the main reasons why you have women who are older telling you not to get with older men, or pretty much warning you about the toxic man. That's why. Now, again, now again, here's the thing that I'm saying. Sure, the man may have money, he may have this, he may have that. But character is the big part of it. Being a high value man, it doesn't equate to a man having money. It doesn't equate to that. High earning men are just that, high earning. A high value man is a man of character who doesn't judge anyone because he has his insecurity. And it wouldn't be fair to him to judge anyone. I'm telling women of all races this. If you keep listening, if you keep listening to the red pill, you're going to end up with someone who is toxic and wants to bring your self-esteem down. And if you try to leave him, your life will be on the line. I've seen, and don't think I've seen, and don't think I didn't see Bourbon Bougie talking about, the horrific dating stories that women go through, because I've seen it. I've seen her videos of women discussing their bad dating experiences. I've seen it. I even seen a YouTube content creator named Burb and Bougie. Not my bad. I already said her name. I've seen a content creator named Your Trigger. And even she does stories of women who go for toxic men and wind up being the shell, and not only that, but wind up being the shell of a woman that she was before. Meaning she was thrown to the waste side once that person found better. That's why women of all races, the women are telling you to avoid toxic men, which means the men in the manosphere as well. I'm telling you to do the same. Choose a man who has good character. And if he winds up having money, then okay. But money does not trump the character of a man. It does not. And I'm going to go ahead and leave and end the live stream on that note. Again, what I'm saying is, women of all races, beware of the toxic men. If you sense that he has bad character, if you sense that he may be if you sense that he may be, you know, gonna cause you harm, use that use that intuition and leave before it goes too far and you wind up in a situation that you cannot get out of. And I will be getting back to doing crime stories. Is probably going to be is probably going to be at the let me see, is probably going to be on April 21st. I will be getting back to talking about the crime stories. And that's another thing too, to the women of all races that are out there. How come you have men out there who is trying to stop people from telling crime stories? You never ask that question. You haven't asked that question because you are afraid that those in the crimes, that those who do the crime stories, and those, and not only that, but the women that they tell the stories on, and and not only that, but you are afraid that the families of the victims may be right, and for the first time, you are wrong when it comes to defending toxic men. That's why you gaslight. That's why, and let's be real, this is why the toxic women within the black community will gaslight you and say that black femicide ain't real. Right along with the toxic BLK men. They will definitely gaslight you to no end. Why? Because their mission is to protect the man. It doesn't matter what happens to the woman, because if it did, why all the gaslight? Why? Mm, and to all the women of all races, think about, why is the red pill gaslighting, saying that women are more violent than men? Think, it's all to gaslight you. That is what toxic men do. They gaslight you, and then they have other women gaslight you. That's why I'm saying today, women of all races, beware of the toxic men. Because the toxic men, they can also use their money to get you and to get you hooked on to them. Now, I just want the women to think about this, and to the women that will be listening to the live after it goes off, I want you to listen to this live stream, and then I want you to go and look at the crime stories of women going missing, women being unalived by their significant other. I want y'all to listen and think for yourselves, because you have red pill men speaking for you, but they do not want you to speak for yourself. And with that, I would like to thank everyone for coming to the live stream today. Um, Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you're notified whenever I go live. And until next time, love, peace, and happiness, and I'm out. Peace.